and welcome to Hordes of the Underdark speedrun commentary for my latest run I got 2 days ago. So this was a time of 26:00. I plan on having like up-to-date commentaries available for all my latest runs whenever possible. The last time I ran this game seriously was like 1 year ago, and since then I have known a lot of like better strategies that I should use and got this time of like 3 and maybe a half minutes or so faster. Yeah. So what's new compared to the run last year? We still pick human for extra feet at the first level and some extra skill points. This time we pick monk as our starting class instead of wizard. The reason being that the automatic level up system in this game gives us monk levels instead of wizard levels shortly enough. For our attributes here, we pick 12 intelligence, which gives me ability to cast level 2 wizard spells, and max our strength because we want to be able to hit enemies, and 16 constitution. Just good to have some extra hit points always. Appraise is the most useful skill in this expansion, and it will be heavily abused. So basically it gives you better prices whenever you are selling or buying items from a merchant. Concentration, just something you can have because we got all these extra skill points here. Discipline, a successful check allows you to resist any combat feat, so a lot of enemies in this game use knockdown, and that's usually game over if they do manage to get a successful knockdown against you, so we want to be able to resist those. Like, it's not totally necessary, but you are asking for trouble if you don't take discipline at all. Lore for identifying items, stumble, just another skill that's basically for free because we got some extra skill points at the beginning and the timer isn't running yet. Power attack, that's a pre-requirement for the feat Great Cleave. The normal version we get for free at first level because we are monks. Skill focus appraise, +3 appraise.
At my command, attack! Step up to the fight. Bring them down.
And that's that. The timer starts when you escape this cutscene. And right at the beginning, the game gives you enough experience points to level up to level 15. And you're given 2 choices. Make your own choices, so do a manual level up or let the game decide for you. I used to do only manual, also in the run a year ago. However, this time I do kind of both. So first we pick blind fight here, which is a feat that helps you fight concealed enemies, and there's gonna only be one enemy, but it's like a big boss fight in a sense, so it will be useful in that particular fight. Then weapon focus unarmed strike, so again better chance to hit. Also that's why we always pick strength whenever possible. So I already took like 8 levels of monk there, and now I'm taking the wizard levels. So I want to have 3 levels of wizard because wizards get familiars, and those can be used to clip to some places. Also, there are some useful spells I want to have. So invisibility, true strike, and expeditious retreat. I chose the feat Great Cleave there. Great Cleave gives you an extra attack every time you finish an opponent. I picked the Spell School Illusion. Just whenever you pick a spell school, you get 1 extra spell slot per level, so... And Expeditious Retreat, True Strike, and 2 other random spells. Yep. Now we're at the 3rd wizard level. The second one we kind of breezed through, hitting recommended on everything. This one is the last manual level I want to take, or level that I want to take manually. So I max my appraise because there's going to be a merchant shortly after this, and max my lore so I can identify an item. Pick whatever, and invisibility. So invisibility obviously useful to avoid enemies. Then I hit the rest key, and the game will do the rest of the choices for me. So it will pick 3 more levels, or no, actually 4 more levels of monk. And it will pick +1 wisdom, which is a bit meh. I would have preferred strength, but it will waste my skill points also on some skills I really never want to use. And then it will pick toughness, which is extra hit points. That's a really good feat to have. And improved critical unarmed strike, so a higher crit chance. Those are both really good feats. So I save around 10 seconds doing it this way compared to the all manual level up that I used to do a year ago. You kill the drow, you loot her, the door opens, Tamsil comes in. You want to click her once because otherwise she will just be annoying when you're trying to get all this stuff from these containers. This is the equipment room, and I want to pick up anything that's like somewhat valuable or that I want to wear on me. So take my equipment and equip them and cast Expeditious Retreat so that I have faster movement speed here. So next up is 2 fights, 1 upstairs, 1 downstairs, and they are kind of random. So yeah, it's about if you hit the enemies and if the allies do a good job of helping you fight the enemies and so on. There's nothing you can really do to speed up this fight. So I had to wait for the combat to end before I enter downstairs. And the second part of the fight, there I drank a potion of speed, so I have a little bit better movement speed, and it also gives me 1 extra attack per round, so that's really good. So I really want to be hasted whenever possible. And there's gonna be a robe to do just that shortly. So that's the 2 fights. If you're wondering, why is my character invisible? Well, cutscenes in general and escaping cutscenes both are like really bugged in this game. So if you escape a cutscene, you might not get your character drawn. The game might like fuck up your camera angles, and once I even got a soft lock, I couldn't do anything. I had to reset the game. So yeah, those are a bit buggy, so it's a bit annoying, but yeah, you can somewhat see where I am by just comparing the camera movement. A merchant will appear from here. She's supposed to walk these steps all the way here. However, I don't know why, but 9 out of 10 times she just teleports instead. We got only 14 lore because we didn't do all manual level ups, so we need to identify this lesser ironstone in order to sell it, but that takes like under a second or so. With the money we got from selling all that equipment, we get the best robes in the game. So these robes gives me permanent haste, so I can't remember either 1.5 or 2 times faster movement speed and 1 extra attack per round always, so really, really good. Then we head up to Undermountain level 1. You can't see, but I'm around here, and there's tons of stuff in this area. Like, this is a really, really huge area, and you have to do all kinds of puzzles and whatnot, and after doing them, each part of this blockade here, like, disappears and so on. However, I don't do any of that. By positioning myself carefully on this bridge, the familiar has no place to spawn, like behind me or on this side, so instead she spawns there, and for some reason the developers made it so that if any character gets into this area, the blockage will just disappear. All the colorful pillars will just disappear. So that's a really fast Undermountain level 1. And level 2 will be the same. I don't have to do any of these quests here. Instead, I'm gonna walk through this door, which is a trick in the game to get to places you're not supposed to be. So every time you like give your character the command to kind of go through a door into the next area, like the game lets you go like halfway in and then it pushes you back, but if you turn 180 degrees while the game is pushing you back, it actually pushes you on the other side instead. So here I kind of failed it multiple times. I think I even lost 18 seconds here, which is kind of painful, you know. But yeah, these drow here, I think they kind of helped me here because they kind of block the other way here, so that the game couldn't just put me here. So I instead get through this locked door, never have to do any of the Undermountain level 2 sub-quests, and we're already at level 3. So as you could see, like it's a bit it's not that how do you say it? Walking through doors isn't that consistent. That's the word I was looking for. So instead here I just bashed the locked door. So I don't want to be just walking through every door, because if I fail it, it just might lose me time. Nathira respawns here and she stops me for a while, so I use the time to cast invisibility. I really want to be invisible here because all this drow here, I don't want them following me to the next room. She appears again, she stops us, we have to wait a bit. Then I walk through this gate here. It's good that I get it first try, it's not that easy, and by walking through that gate, it's not locked, but opening it would start a cutscene that would make all these drow hostile to me. So instead, they just let me destroy these energy stones, which frees up Halaster. Freeing Halaster is the main quest right now in chapter 1. Okay, what you see me do here is talk to Halaster and reinitiate the dialogue again. So every time I do that, like the game developers thought that you should be rewarded the quest experience points, the experience points for completing the quest. So, but they never made a flag to kind of check that so that it would be a one-time event. So instead, I paused the game, and you're able to initiate conversations with characters while the game is paused. So I just get 7,500 experience points every time I click Alistair here. So that's a major experience glitch in this game. However, you can hear and see that it's slowing down all the time. The reason is the game needs to draw all the animations to start a conversation with me, so I do this only for 26 seconds, otherwise it would be just too slow, and then I unpause the game and it still is like kind of sluggish, and then it lets me out. So the maximum level would be 40 in this game, but I only get to level 34, which is plenty enough. But yeah, yeah, I can't do that indefinitely because it would be just slower to try to gain more experience points. I aborted another cutscene, the chapter 2 starting cutscene, and I got this annoying camera bug, so I can't control my camera right now. It's just zooming in all the time. So I really need to quick save and quick load here, unfortunately, so I lose some 5 seconds here. What I should have done though is first rest, quick save and quick load, do what's known as quick resting, because I will need a familiar in soon enough in chapter 3, so but it never occurred to my mind to do that. So I got these companions here, and I used them only to steal all their stuff, like all good friends do, and then I level up. I took great fortitude there, so +2 to all my fortitude saves. Again, take strength whenever possible. Get some fire resistance. And all the time while I'm leveling up, I'm also trying to move forward. So I'm taking a lot of monk levels, because every third monk level you get +10% extra speed for your character. I take epic prowess and epic weapon focus to get some bonus to my attacks again, so to be able to hit enemies. Epic toughness gives me extra hit points. And this is the last monk level I will have. So level 30, that's a lot of movement speed, and I will have good combat stats and so on. I will take discipline here. So as I said earlier, it's a bit of a gamble if you don't take any, because all the enemies use knockdown in this game. Also, I believe around 26 lore is required to identify some items. Then I take rogue levels, or just one rogue level actually, just because rogue have appraise as their class skill. So having 37 appraise here, plus 1 from my intelligence makes it 38, plus 3 from skill focus appraise that I took as a first level feat. 40 is the maximum you can get any bonuses out of, so I've got maximum appraise right now. And what we're doing in chapter 2, first of all, I remove all these party members. I don't need them anymore. I strafe around this golem, which isn't as easy as it looked here. So there are I believe 5 different main quests in chapter 2 you need to do, and this is the fastest of them. So you need to build an army against the Vouchers, like gain allies and so on. So the golems are one of the possible allies you can get. And I place a warp marker here. So the game has an item to let you teleport to places, and it always costs 1 rogue stone. I place one in at the beginning of the area so I don't have to do any backtracking. Then I talk to these guys, tell them to take me to the boss. Instead I walk through both these doors and steal their power source. Then I teleport back. So this is like 30 seconds faster instead of backtracking. And give this golem the power source, and that finishes the quest here. So that's the fastest main quest you can do, and the reason I'm doing even one main quest is that now a cutscene will appear. And as I said earlier, cutscenes are broken. So you saw the red light there. I placed a warp marker inside a cutscene, so the chapter 2 end trigger is killing the Vouchers, and it just happens to be that this cutscene Vouchers is the same Vouchers. So cast True Strike, and it gives me for 9 seconds a 95% attack to hit her, so she has quite a big armor class. She also casts this fire shield, so I take fire damage every time I hit her, so that would be painful if I hadn't taken all that. I took 20 damage resistance to fire with my epic levels. So the Vouchers dies. I can easily die in this fight, by the way, but this time it goes really smoothly. I grab all her stuff, and that's the chapter 2 done. I need to talk to this guy so that I'm able to go forward. And so the story reason why we're here, we're in a hell that's been frozen actually. So the end boss of the game, Mephistopheles, killed us, and now we're in hell, and we need to get revenge, obviously. I equip some stuff here. +4 constitution boots, +5 to all saves, including fortitude saves, +6 to my armor class ring, cold resistance ring. Every time you're in this frozen hell, every time you're outside, you actually take some cold damage, so I want to negate that with the ring. Other than that, this is, by the way, the best merchant in the game, or one of the best merchants in the game, so he gives me really good prices anyway, and with my 40 appraise, I'm gonna abuse that. I don't want to sell these 2 items here because they would go here on the 3rd page, on the right side of this full plate, and I want to buy and sell this full plate several times. He has an indefinite amount of those available. So this is the fastest method of generating money. With our 40 appraise, we're now selling things with a higher price than we are buying them back from him, and essentially creating money. So it's fastest to do it this way, like 1 page at a time. And I need all the money to be able to do a quick kill on the end boss Mephistopheles, and also I need some good equipment to be able to survive the late game. So that's it. 912,000 gold pieces is what I need. I went a little bit overboard, however that's all okay. Right now we're going to another merchant. Unfortunately, the previous merchant didn't have all the good stuff, but this devil has. We just need to do like this small mini quest here for him, so kill this imp and that's it. He opens up his store. So we get these gloves and this belt, so +7 to attack, +10 to strength. There were also +10 to attack gloves there, however those are so expensive that it's not worth it to generate the money. 7 potions of heal is like a bit too much even, but I just want to be extra safe because this is such a good run right now. We have to fight the Sensei here. She likes to use knockdown against us. She likes to use Quivering Palm, which is a one-hit kill, so if she succeeds with that. So instead we try to knock her down and not let her use any of her abilities. Killing her gives you this Sensei amulet. That is a plot item. And I could have like walked through both of those doors that weren't locked when Sensei was still alive. However, if you wake up the sleeping man here, she will attack you, so I have to take the fight anyway. So Sleeping Man gives you the quest of obtaining a puzzle ring, so it's in 3 pieces you need to obtain, and then you have to reattach those pieces together. And with a quick rest here, as I said earlier, I should have done this rest in chapter 2 beginning because I got the camera angle bug, but yeah. So there's 3 sets of skeletal minions here and 3 walking bone masses that will spawn. And I really want to use knockdown here because these skeletal minions do a ton of damage. I also don't want to spend any time that I could be in combat attacking the enemies, like healing. So it saves time using knockdown here. Also these guys use Stunning Fist, which is a fortitude save, so the feat Great Fortitude we took earlier and the amulet that gives us +5 to saves makes it so that there's only a 5% chance of me getting stunned here. If I get stunned, that's probably game over at this point. So this fight is always a bit scary. So I heal in between fights so that I don't waste any time healing in combat. Also using knockdown just basically keeps me alive at this point. Like for example here, they do so much damage that I'm 29 HP before I get the final knockdown in. So that's 2 hits to kill. So yeah. As I said, this fight is always a bit scary. And in between I collect these puzzle ring pieces. Other than that, there's not much to say about this fight. Yeah, 1 year ago I didn't used to use knockdown, so this fight was a bit slower. One more walking bone mass, and that's it.
I always get my way.
So that's the last ring piece, and then I have to assemble the ring. That's now done. I have the puzzle ring. It's a plot item that if you wear it, you can like see things that you normally wouldn't be able to see. So I find this portal here. This is the first Guardian of the Path fight. Unfortunately, I have to take this fight like...
Hope you like pain.
it's because you'll see me transform into like a pixie and a wolf and an earth elemental. So it's this Sensei amulet in my inventory that's doing all this actually, and this is like a... this fight is acts like a tutorial to let me know I can do all this stuff with the Sensei amulet. There are plenty of puzzles in this game that require you to be of a certain character type, I don't know, wolf or earth elemental or so on. I lured this guy like a bit closer here to the... I don't know, is that a stone wall or ice wall? Some kind of blockage anyway. And now he's vulnerable when I finally get out of the wolf form, so I can kill him now. Then you're supposed to, like, for the first time, equip the Sensei amulet and do the probably like morph into an earth elemental and destroy that wall or something like that. That's way too slow, so I instead summon a familiar, and yeah, I couldn't do this earlier before finishing the fight because I never would have learned the 3 different forms. And there will be a catapult later on in the game that I will need to throw across a pool of lava, so that's the only reason I need the earth elemental form. You saw me equip this armor I have been having in my inventory for all this time, and it's because Mimic eats your armor in this cutscene, so obviously I don't want it to be the hasted robes. I want it to be some cheap ass armor. Then I can continue. So you can walk through these force fields by equipping and de-equipping your puzzle ring. And for some reason the developers thought that this would be a really hard puzzle, so they made a trigger here that I walk through. The first trigger here creates a 3-minute timer, so 180 seconds. And after that, if you still haven't figured it out how to get through this area, it will trigger a user-defined event number 4444, and that will give you like a helper dialogue in this area, like, hey, maybe you should try this. There's also a second trigger, if I remember correctly, right around here, and if you walk through it, then it will cancel the timer. So I walk in this certain manner to avoid the second trigger, and just be aware that right now there's a 3-minute timer going on in the background. I cast invisibility so these guys won't attack me. They would kill me pretty fast. Then I walk through that door and go on to the next area.
Come now. Let's see what you've got.
You're able to walk in this cutscene, so I get a little bit inside Mimic. So Mimic is this character or creature that eats everything, like these gems, for example, and you have to kill her eventually, but you can't damage her with ordinary weapons. So I'm super lucky right here in that this rat spawned here. She ate both the rats and the gems, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I want to say it's like a 1 in a 10 or 1 in 5 chance that this rat spawns a bit earlier in this cutscene than normal, and it lets me have this first gem instead of the Mimic. So this is what is known as a fast Mimic cycle. So I just about barely make it here and put this gem on the ground in order to lure her a bit towards me, and then fool her a bit and place it again. So this is the new fastest method of getting rid of Mimic, and as I said, it's so reliant on luck only. So you're already here like 2/3 in the game, and there's this luck-based element here. But yeah. So that's the Mimic, and Gargamesh appears. He does a lot of knockdowns as well, and he has 2 potions of heal in his inventory, so you want to knock him down instead to keep him from using all the potions and all the knockdowns against you. Here I just hope that these ice trolls won't notice me and kill my familiar. And yeah, luckily enough that happens. There's a big boss fight here that is actually really hard. Instead I walk along this wall and also don't hit the trigger around here. So, you know, they want to give me this evil speech before attacking me. But I never hit the trigger, so I just familiar clip through these statues and go to the next area. Next up is the Puzzlers, and also they all use knockdown, so one more reason to have points in discipline. I also get super lucky here because when I see this arrow being pointed this way, I'm like, fuck, it's gonna face this way in just half a second or so. Hopefully I make it, and I just about barely make it before it does, so I'm super lucky also here. I get the fastest cycle. So I cast invisibility here. Otherwise the Puzzlers will probably kill me. And you're supposed to do like tons of stuff here, but there's this force field that handily enough acts just like a door, so we are able to walk through it. Okay, the 3-minute timer I was talking about earlier is up, and in this area, triggering user-defined event 4444 doesn't trigger any helper dialogues. Instead, it spawns in a portal, as if you have just finished killing the second guardian of the path, and the portal leads to the next area. So this was found totally by accident by me at some point, and you can imagine I'm like so confused. Why is there a portal here and I haven't killed the second guardian yet, and what just happened? So I really had to dig deep into the game scripting. There's a tool set that comes with the game and even has the original campaign, so that's really helpful. So I found out about these 2 triggers all the way back there in the previous area, and yeah, I never have to fight the second Guardian of the Path. Yeah, so we skipped that and we are approaching the end of the game. I'm still invisible, so these enemies don't mind me. A big fight is about to come up. And that fight is the reason why we took blind fight as a feat earlier on. So blind fight, as said, gives you bonuses to attack concealed enemies, and the third Guardian of the Path has a 50% concealment. That means that 50% chance of me not hitting him at all. Blind fight, the feat reduces it to 25%. Also, Great Cleave is really useful in this fight. So before the third Guardian of the Path, there's this big fight involving like 100 devils or so. So I can just one-hit kill them all. The reason I'm not taking damage here is that I'm an epic level monk and they have crappy weapons, and I got damage resistance of 20 against +1 weapons. So here I fuck up a bit by attacking the closer devil instead of the one that was farther back, and I don't get a Great Cleave here, but yeah, I lose some seconds here. Gonna heal up, and the Guardian of the Path, the third one and the last one, appears. I have a specific setup for him. I walk up to him and use True Strike, and he uses a lot of fire-based attacks, but I have the 20 damage resistance, so that helps a lot. Unfortunately, I didn't get the quickest kill, so he got to teleport once. Also, he hits me with this attack of his, so I'm pinned down for a bit. But yeah, it's pretty fast anyway. And this is the only reason we need the Earth Elemental form for, so throw this catapult across. By the way, all the devils and the Guardian of the Path actually spawn in a corner in the map where you're not supposed to go. I'm able to almost get there, but not quite, and it's much faster just doing the fight instead. For some reason, there I had to re-equip my robes because using the Earth Elemental form it just doesn't give me the haste bonus anymore. So this is the Knower of Names, and we free her from her icy prison. And yeah, she's the reason we get all that money for. So 700,000 gold pieces, and we're able to learn the true name of the endgame boss Mephistopheles. So learning the true name is like 1 to 2 minutes faster than fighting him. And yeah, this is the final area of the game. So a big boss fight would take ages, but I just ask him kindly to die. And I split a bit too early here, so when this loading screen appears, you're supposed to split, so the final time is not 25:53, but 26:00 instead. So all the new stuff, like doing the halfway manual automatic level up and getting the fast mimic cycles and selling full plates instead of Eyes of Petrification at the when we're creating money at the merchant, and what else? There's probably stuff I can't remember. Using knockdown, obviously. All this saves plenty of time, and yeah, 26:00 is the final time. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed it.